why teaching? Why is that important? Good morning and welcome to Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. I'm Chris Yao.
I'm Scott Stewart.
And we are on Main Street right here in Pulaski and Giles County. We are so excited to bring you a brand new show where we're going to highlight the news, sports, and lifestyles of everything around Southern Middle Tennessee in both Maury County and in Giles County. It's so exciting. And we have a lot in store for you on this first episode. It's going to be fantastic, so stick around. Looking forward to it. But first, before we do anything else, it's time for the wrap. All right, on the front page of this week's Main Street Maury, you can find stories about Saturday Night Live taking a little bit of a jab at Andy Ogles for his Christmas photos. So there's the story there about Saturday Night Live. You can also find some pretty hard news. We've got the mega dump that was proposed in Maury County. That was denied. We have a full story on that. We also will talk about SROs in private schools and what the plan is for those, because obviously after the events of the Covenant shooting a couple of weeks ago, things around the entire state are really focusing on school safety.
Correct.
And also in Spring Hill, they want you to know that they are offering free water testing after a social media post went a little viral last week. And folks were worried about their drinking water. So the city of Spring Hill is offering free water testing for anybody who wants it. You can find that and so much more in Main Street Maury. Scott, what's in the Pulaski Citizen this week?
Well, I'm not as good as you, so I got a list to have.
That's all right.
I'm a little older than you are. So this week on the front page, we have a great feature. It's photos that we took at last week's Special Olympics. And we always love the Special Olympics and what they do for those kids and the athletes that are out there. And it was at UT Southern's East Campus. Oh, yeah. And so they had it, and Wade went out there. So that's our front page feature of this week. We have the Giles County Commission is going to meet next week. I got a preview of that. And the interesting thing about that is, for the first time that I'm aware of, the Giles County Commission is going to meet at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Do they normally meet in the
usually
mornings?
meet 9 o'clock in the mornings. Historically, as far as I know, always. I mean, there may have been another time in I mean, going back to 100 and 200 years, but the first time that I can remember that they've actually met, and they'll be meeting right back here in this beautiful courthouse. One of the things that they'll be doing is replacing our District 7. One of our District 7 commissioners, Maurice Woodard, has resigned. And actually in the paper this week, I got a little bit about how the process works. So there's going to be that. Also on the front page, you guys from Giles County are going to know about it, and you guys from Maury County may want to learn about it. It's one of our favorite things that we do every year. It's the annual FFA Richland plant sale, Richland FFA plant sale up at Richland High School, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. And it's really popular around here. So if you guys up in Maury County,
get there early.
Yeah, get there early. Go ahead and drop in on Wednesday. You know where Richland School is. It's right here on Highway 31, right here between Pulaski and Columbia. So if you're interested in some plants, and if you look at the front page, it's even a list of the plants and some photos and stuff. So also, as always, on the front page is our Pulaski Citizen Live schedule. That includes the County Commission meeting that's going to be next Monday. That includes tomorrow's Richland versus Giles County soccer match. So that's all on the front page. And just some other stuff in the paper this week. You have your Emergency Services Committee, your Power Board meeting, School Board meeting, backwards glances, property transfers, or Citizen Spotlight. Giles Pass is going to highlight one of our older businesses, Bennett May Giles County Funeral Home, Bennett May and Pierce. And then we got a couple of schools pages this week, which we love to highlight our students. So that's just a little bit about what's in the Pulaski Citizen this week.
It's chock full of great news,
That's
as
exactly
the
right.
as the paper boxes will tell you. And again, we are so excited to be with you, bringing you all of the news. Stay tuned. We've got
having a good confident
Mayor's
smile
Corner
and being able
with Mayor
to
Sheila
portray
Butt
that
in Maury County,
positivity
talking
to
about
others
the
is
Duck
really
River
helpful.
and the
Professional
latest
family
legislative
atmosphere is what we get every time we
update
come here.
Our
from the
hygienists
Hill.
do a better
We
job at kind of
also
assessing
will
mouths
take
and
a
coming
look
up with
at
plans than most
the
dentists do.
They're very
local
kind
restaurant
and
Katie
they're
Pie
very
and
aware of
Sons
other
on
people.
Behind
I
the
think if
Apron.
there's
All of
things that I
that
would
would
and
want
of
you
course
to
our
leave here
Sports
with. I
Minute,
want you to feel
and
like you
more
were heard, that
on
we
Mornings on
listened to
Main
you, and I
Street,
want you to
Southern
feel
Middle
like that
Tennessee.
your concerns were
Thank you
addressed.
guys for being with us. Stick around.
Thanks.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into This Week in Southern Middle Tennessee. This is Mayor's Corner, and I am joined on our inaugural episode by Maury County Mayor Sheila Budd. Sheila, thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm so glad that I could today. Thank you for asking.
Hey, no problem. Look, I just want to get an update. What's going on in Maury County? What's going on with obviously the Duck Rivers Scenic River bill is moving right along. Impact fee kind of died in committee. So let's talk a little bit about the Duck River and the Scenic River and what that means for Maury County.
Well, I think everybody in this area understands that water is getting ready to be one of our resources that we're going to have plenty of for the growth and development, everything that's going on in Maury County. And we want safe, clean drinking water. And I'm telling you, I just have to admire the people of Maury County who jumped on board and said, we don't want the Duck River polluted with anything else. We can't say that it's not polluted with some things right now because we have industry up and down the river, but we do not need more for certain. And so the county got on board, the county commission got on board. We filed the Scenic River legislation and it has gone through every committee. I won't tell you that it wasn't a battle in the committees because it was, because personal property rights and this sort of thing. But truthfully, if we don't pass it, the personal property rights of the people who live along that river are going to be disturbed. So, you have to look at both sides of that property rights issue. We had several people be at the Capitol very often. So I'm happy to say that tonight, which is April what?
Today is the 3rd?
April 3rd, it will be on the floor of the House tonight. It has already passed the Senate. So if it passes tonight, it'll be signed into law in the next 10 days. So it's pretty wonderful for the future of Maury County. This is what we're looking at now. I'm afraid we have just sort of gone day to day and not thought so much about our children, your children, my children, grandchildren's water 25 years from now.
It kind of came up. It came onto us so quickly that we kind of had to swim very fast in rushing waters. So now that we've kind of gotten our feet under us, we can start looking toward the future.
That's exactly right.
And to that point, the impact fee bill that did not make it out of committee, that's kind of the same thing. It's, we were paddling so hard for so long, and now we're like, hey, we need to be looking for what the growth that's going to come. How do we pay for it and make growth pay for itself? Now, unfortunately, again, that didn't make it out of committee. So what does that mean, and what's the next steps?
When I was in the state legislature, they brought a hotel motel tax to me just for our county. Mm-hmm. And any legislator up there hates to vote for any kind of a tax for any kind of county. And you had to make the argument that these are people coming to Maury County temporarily. $5 on a room is not going to make them not come to that hotel or motel. And it was a struggle even then to get that out of the state government committee. Now for our particular bill, which we were calling the Property Taxpayers Protection Act, because the fact of the matter is, if we're not able to raise some of those fees or some kind of input from the developers as they're coming, then it's going to be on the back of the property tax owners. This is the bottom line. We have people like Sam with those farms, people who are on Social Security, fixed income. If we keep raising their property taxes, they're not going to be able to live in the county that they love and they grew up in. Developers have to have some kind of skin in the game. You can call it developers or you can call it the people coming into the community. It doesn't really matter, because I spoke with a developer in Williamson County and I said, now you're not going to fight us on this, are you? He said, oh no. He said, I just spent $30,000 to pull a permit to build a house in Williamson County. He said, Sheila, I know you're not going to have any $30,000 kind of fees. He said, I wouldn't fight you on it. But he did say this. He said, I'm going to pass it on to the people that buy the house.
And that's fine because what they're getting for that extra money is a better school, newer schools,
exactly.
More schools. The schools are the main focus here because that's where the growth is really coming, is in that school age children
That's
demographic.
65% of Murray County's budget is for schools. And understand that the cities don't pay for a school. Mount Pleasant, Spring Hill, Columbia do not pay one dime for the beautiful schools that we are building for them. So we get some of their sales tax money, but nothing like the people of Murray County have to put in to build those schools. So I think what we have done this year is brought to the legislature's attention the disparity between what the cities are allowed to do and what the counties are not allowed to do. And then there is a bill up there right now that would give more of the sales tax money to the cities. Well, that would not help the county much at all if they give that sales tax money back to the cities. So I don't think they understand the dynamic. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think most of those legislators understand that. So we're going to build a coalition of counties who understand the disparity between the cities and the counties. The counties can, most cities can level an impact fee unless they have other areas that they've chosen to do instead of an impact fee. But counties don't have that option. We have an adequate facilities tax, which is $1 per square foot and hasn't been raised for years and years and years. It just cannot help us with what we're going to have to do. And I'm going to indicate that the quality of life for everybody is going to go down if we are not allowed to ask the people who are moving here to have some investment for the schools they will need, for the roads they will need, for the ambulance service they will need. You see, we can't pay all of that for everyone. So we're going to build a coalition and go back next year and try to protect the property taxpayers in Tennessee.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Mayor's Corner on This Week in Southern Middle Tennessee. Again, Mayor Sheila Butt here with us. And thank you again for joining us. It's a pleasure, and looking forward to doing this more often and keeping everybody informed.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it very, very much.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
From upstate New York to Columbia, Tennessee, Kate Vaca and her family have decided to make Southern Middle Tennessee their home, bringing with them some of their family's most sacred recipes and sharing them with everyone here in Murray County and in Columbia. So now join me as we get the full story and go behind the apron.
Well, we're from upstate New York, and if you've ever visited upstate New York, there's diners everywhere. So when I was young, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do, so I began serving, and I served for about 8-9 years, and then I opened my own in my hometown. So just kind of always been something I've done and loved and passionate about. Tried to go to other careers, but just didn't have the same quality of people and fun, and just doesn't feel like work most of the time.
Vaca owned Katie Pie's Kitchen on Nashville Highway before closing last year and beginning the process of moving her business to a house at 2407 Pulaski Highway. When she began the process of moving, her two sons, Peter and Joseph, came along to add something extra to the restaurant's name.
So we've been in and out of it our whole entire life. When she was over there, it was doing well, and we decided to come along and help her out. And
because it's all about family. when it comes to restaurants. All the recipes are my mom's or my mother-in-law's, and that's where it all begins anyways, family, and it just felt right. And I didn't think they would like it, but they really do.
The house has 2 different rooms for dining with a little more seating than the last place. It's decorated with plates her parents used among historical photos and other art pieces.
And it just, when I walked in the very first time I came to see this house, I just felt like I was home.
Kate says food for her is all about family. That's why after visiting her sister in Columbia several times for the holidays and falling in love with the area, she moved here as well.
It's just like sitting at your own table because it's all homemade, and we have all different soups. You can have breakfast or lunch, and the atmosphere is awesome. And now that we have this beautiful location, that adds to it.
Home is where the heart is, and where her family is now, and the family business has been thriving since its reopening. Peter and Joe aren't just here for their charm and cooking, however.
But the goal really is, I want to retire. I'm ready in a couple of years, and he's going to take the front because you always need someone to represent you out front. And Joe's going to be the person in the back of the house. So
He's a little better at the cooking than I am, but we both took to it, and here we are. In this whole process, we started our new Facebook page, and it just blew up. Everybody saying we love you guys, we can't wait till you're back, and it really showed this first week.
we just want to say thank you to all of Columbia and the surrounding areas for supporting us and making our first week so great.
Welcome into the Mornings on Main Street Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Report. I'm Chris Yao, and this is Wade Neely from down here in Pulaski. And Wade, you guys have a big week of sports in this week's paper.
Yeah, Mother Nature, what can you say? She wreaked a little havoc on us last week. We had big plans, as a lot of teams did in and around Southern Middle Tennessee. But a lot of those games got rained out last week. But the good news is we're back on the diamond. We're back on the pitch this week. Already had a slew of games on Monday as Richland and Wayne County are getting it on in baseball and softball this week. Giles County baseball getting it on versus Summertown. And still to come later in the week, knock on wood, for potentially the third time, Giles County and Richland will reschedule their soccer match. Finally, maybe get that game in. So kind of a busy week for Giles County. Richland knocked off Santa Fe in a big convincing series win last week. Only surrendered 2 runs and I think had 35 total runs scored. Raider bats kind of coming alive. Giles County got off to a great start in their district season on the baseball side of things. They've already knocked off Mount Pleasant twice, beat Summertown on Monday of this week, which was a good win at home here at Sam Davis Park. We carried that game on Pulaski Citizen Live. They played well. And then, as I mentioned, you still got Giles County and Richland in a non-district soccer match still to come. Kind of some other odds and ends. UT Southern had a nice win over the weekend versus a Freed-Hardeman team that's receiving votes in the NAIA Top 25. And former Bobcat basketball, now that his basketball career has ended, Jack Harper is expected to sign with UT Southern at some point this week. So Jack Harper going to continue his career. Weren't sure if he was going to maybe end up as a golfer, a baseball player, or a basketball player, but he's going to sign with the basketball program at UT Southern. And that's kind of the odds and ends. Scott has already talked about our Special Olympics coverage on the front page of this week's edition, but busy week. Even though Mother Nature tried to cut us short last week, we still found a way to get a little stuff in.
That's right. And normally on this portion of the show and going forward, you will see Mo Patton, the sports editor of Main Street Murray. He is on vacation this week, so I'm here kind of taking over. And in Main Street Murray sports section, you can find all area teams for both boys and girls basketball, as well as boys and girls wrestling. You can also find coverage of several different games throughout last week that did actually take place. And let me tell you, Columbia Academy baseball, if they can find a window, Richie Estep's going to find the window. And they did find one last week for just a moment, and as well as Columbia Academy softball. So there's coverage of both of those teams, as well as the schedule for this week. So if you are looking for what's coming up throughout the week in Murray County, you can find that in the Main Street Murray sports section as well. all of that and much, much more at MainStreetMurray.com and PulaskiCitizen.com. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us here. This has been the Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Minute.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
For nearly 80 years, Shepard Lumberyard has been a staple in the extended downtown business district in Columbia. New owner Terrence Blakesley is making sure to continue the tradition of being locally owned, family owned, and veteran owned. Had a chance to sit down and talk to him, and I'm excited to show you what we found.
Shepard Lumber got started in 1946 on the dream of military veteran, and Van Shepard started the business in Columbia. And during that time, there were very few lumber yards. They were more prominent back then, but very few in the surrounding area. And so they were basically the precursor of the big box stores, to where you could buy your paint, your hardware, lumber, basically a one-stop shop. And so we're striving to continue, even though local lumber yards are almost extinct these days because it's hard to compete in the big box market. But what we try to do is create that niche to where we provide not only service, but products that the big box stores necessarily can't provide or have time to provide.
Having an extensive background in the industry, not only as someone who worked with the business's second owner, David McLean, but with other local and national brands, Blakesley has the knowledge and foresight to understand any issue a customer may bring in the door. That's one reason he and his team have pivoted much of the business to selling more than 2x4s.
So we also offer custom cutting as far as logs is concerned for customers. Our community has come upon to rely upon us to figure out and come up with an answer or a solution to something that they're trying to overcome with a project in their house. Then what we do is, I came out with this probably about a year and a half ago. I'm the only one in this area that's producing this type of product. And what we produce is stone countertops. It's not to compete with granite or marble, totally different product, but I go into the design, make it from scratch to where when we finish that product and install it in your house, it looks like we just carved this thing right out of the side of a mountain. 20 different colors, and the customers just all over this area just loving it. I use a cement base, and I can make any design that I want to, as long as I could build it, think it, I can create it. It's so hard to get certain hardwoods. Local hardwoods are great. When I'm talking about local hardwoods, we're talking about oak, red oak, white oak, your walnuts, things of that nature. But when we're talking about wingay, when we're talking about purple heart, when we're talking about Purdue, when we're talking about canary wood, when we're talking about Bolivian rosewood, those things are very hard to get because they come from different countries. So what I do is battle every single day, bug my vendors, see what's coming in. So the local customers do not have to travel to Kentucky or somewhere in East Tennessee where they may have a few pieces at. They can stay right here in town and find that exotic wood to where they can make their next project.
Though not a native of Murray County, Blakesley has called Murray County home for quite a while. He says there's no place he'd rather be. There's probably a good reason for that.
I'm originally, you probably can't tell by my accent because my wife calls me country, but I was originally born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. And I had family down here, and eventually after I served in the United States Marine Corps, I had an opportunity to visit. And during that particular visit, it was the ice storm of the century. Got stuck down here, but it was a blessing in the stuckness. There's a new word. I met my wife.
He and his wife have raised their 2 children here in Murray County, and they say they have a passion for this community and local business.
See, to me, local businesses are what is the heartbeat of a local community. Anybody of a Fortune 500 company could come in and say, I'm setting up shop in this community. But guess what? When you come up here in our particular store and also in other local businesses, my store manager here, he's a local pastor. Most of the individuals that interact here, work here, or in the local business grew up here. They have kids to go to school here. They spend money here. So basically, when you really look at it with a closer lens, the local businesses and the ones that they hire, we're all connected. We're all family. So we should have that heart to want to continue to help one another and help grow the community as one.
Shepherd Lumberyard is open 6 days a week and closed on Sundays. They're asking you to shop local. Reporting from Columbia, I'm Chris Yao.
They have always met wildest expectations as far as taking care of my teeth and my health. You know, teeth health is very important now to your heart. And I told him one day, I said, I'd love to have nice teeth and nice hair. And he said, well, I can take care of the teeth, but I can't take care of the hair. And I said, you can make my teeth? He said, yeah. I said, well, let's go for it. And he did. And I have been tremendously pleased. Dr. Hart, if you need him at night, he's here. This staff here will take care of you 24/7. You don't have to worry about, I can't get a hold of my dentist, my tooth's hurting. No, they will be here for you. And if I could get Dr. Hart to take that same artistry that he has and grow hair, then he would be double rich.
Hey folks, happy Wednesday to you, and thank you for stopping by Tennessee Valley Weather. I'm Ben Luna here in the Weather Center wishing you a happy hump day as you watch your local weather. All right, across the mid-state region today, we're looking again pretty good. Plenty of sunshine, temperatures plumb near perfect to be out and about, all thanks to this ridge of high pressure now working along the Carolina coast. Notice that big old mess of clouds down to the Gulf. Well, that's an area of low pressure that's going to be heading our way over the course of the next 24 hours, and ultimately will be providing us with more cloud coverage and a few sprinkles as we head through tomorrow. Here's a look at Futurecast through today. Yeah, nothing going on. It's going to be a picture-perfect Wednesday. However, as we look ahead into tomorrow, notice more clouds working from the south to the north across the region, and ultimately a few scattered showers will be with us into the later morning and early afternoon hours of Thursday. Again, nothing severe, just a few little areas of rainfall for tomorrow, and maybe some leftover moisture on Friday, so we'll maintain a chance for a few showers to close the work week. Now, watch Saturday into early Sunday. We've got another system that's going to be crossing over the region. This could provide a few thunderstorms, something that may try to trend on the more rocky side. We'll keep eyes on that for you. We'll let you know. And then we'll clear as we head through Sunday. Cool down just a smidge, back in the upper 60s there by Monday. That is a look at your forecast for today. I'll leave you with a final look at the 7-day. I hope you have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk to you soon.
And that's going to do it for this first episode of Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. Thanks to all of our guests, and thank you to our viewers. Make sure to check in each and every week for Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. For everyone here at Main Street Media, have a great rest of your week.
Why teaching? Why is that important?